Mr. Minnick helping my Python students in spring 2018 with a project called Organizer Project. And this is what I call the Demo 1 starter version of the code that they can copy and paste and use to get started on this famous project. So let's first run the project and learn how it runs. When it runs, the user is expected to type in the number 1 from this menu, the 1 here. When he or she hits the enter key, it does what menu option says 1 is supposed to do. It displays a list in the original order. Now the original list is currently over here, you can see it on line 12. Chris, Dan, Edgar, and so on. And it does print out here horizontally, and it prints out in an ugly way with square brackets and single quotes around the strings. There is a way to fix that so it doesn't print out that extra gobbledygook, the square brackets and commas and such, but I'll leave that up to you. The answer might be embedded in a worksheet or somewhere in my lecture notes. Heck, maybe in this video later I'll show that, but for now I'm not. Moving on. When somebody runs the program and types the number 2 from the menu, it displays that, oh, currently the menu does not match the output. Let me fix that. It's menu option 2 is display list number 2 in original order. So it displays the other list, I'll say, which you should probably change when you hand in the project. Well, the other list in this project is a list of usernames. See, usernames versus names. So when I run the program here and type an O, a capital O, no, I'm sorry, when I type the number 2, it displays the usernames, not the actual names. So menu option 1 is names, and menu option 2 we see here is usernames. They're not sorted in order, they're just displayed as they originally are. And that's a good thing to do in a menu. Menu option 3 brings up a further question to the person running the code, running the program, that he or she should enter a value they're searching for. Well, in this case, it's a name that they're searching for, perhaps the name Dan that you see that's here. So I'm going to type D-A-N, lowercase, so it matches perfectly the upper lowercaseness of the actual value that's in there. And when I hit the enter key right now on my keyboard, it should say, yes, Dan is there. And it did. It confirms that Dan was found. So menu option 3 works in this demo project. And but does it really work? Let's do menu option 3 again, but search for something that's not there. Like the word Albert. Al is there, but Albert is not. So I'm typing Albert and hitting the enter key, and it says Albert was not found. So it is working in such a way that it says when things are not found, just like when things are found. Finally, menu option 4 should exit. Let's test to see if that works, and it does. It actually says goodbye. Now here's another upgrade to this project. If you look right here at the line of code 58, you can actually type the uppercase letter D to equivalently, because of the word or here, access menu option 1. Let's test that. This time I'm going to type uppercase D, and it does indeed print Chris, Dan, Edgar, etc. Also, because of the use of this upper method in Python right here where I'm waving my mouse, this program currently allows you to type lowercase d, which behind the scenes, because that's stored in the variable menu choice, when the input function takes the lowercase d and stores it in the variable menu choice, because I have dot upper here, behind the scenes the lowercase d is turned into uppercase D, and then that's checked to see if it's double equal to uppercase D. That should display the list in original order. Let's check it and see. Lowercase d, I hit the enter key, and it does work. Now, does it work if I type in an accidental space in front of the D? Let's check it out. Space D, and what the heck? Let's put some extra spaces after the D. When I hit the enter key, it still works. Well, trust me, it would not have worked with those leading and trailing spaces if I did not have the dot strip method typed in right there on line 58. That's crucial for the user friendliness of this program. Now it turns out you could have typed menu choice dot strip dot upper or dot upper dot strip. And there are other ways to do this correctly. You better not put lowercase d though in the double quotes, because it wouldn't work if you had a lowercase d here. Unless, by the way, you change that to lower, which I didn't. So you got to have an uppercase D here to match your use of the upper method to make this truly user-friendly. You see, the reason that I put the D in parentheses here was to show some people that don't like numbers that they can access menu option 1 with an uppercase D. That's what the parentheses is, how the parentheses are being used. Notice when I run this version of the demo program that if I type a uppercase O for the word other here, it doesn't work. It says you entered an invalid menu choice. Well, that's because I don't have this or expression in the menu choice 2 area. That's for you to add as a to-do item to get an A. I only made it user-friendly for menu option 1. Of course, you're supposed to look at my code and make it better when I give you a starter demo like this and a video on top of that explaining it. Let's now look at the next part of this that I would like to highlight, and that is the goodbye area. If they type the number 4, which is being treated as a 4 in double quotes here, like the 3, 2, and 1, it does print a nice little goodbye message, but then it hits break. The break command breaks you out of the while loop that you're in. Basically, it ends the game and sends you right to jail, and you don't pass go like in Monopoly and get $200. Break kicks you out of the loop immediately, which is what you want to do if you want to go say exit. The word exit means break. That's what the break does there. Now it would have worked anyway without break because of the not equal to 4, but that is even a better way to break out of the program using break. Notice this else clause. It must stay at the bottom. Never put an else in between the elifs. It will give you an error message. This else is handling the situation. If somebody types like the menu option 5 or 6, they shouldn't. Why would somebody type the menu option 5, I ask? Well, maybe they just have what we call fat fingers, or it's a typo. Well, they have fingers that don't hit the touch screen on their small iPhone 3 very well. So look, if I hit a 5 and hit the enter key, it says you entered an invalid menu choice, and then it displays the menu again. So it's nice and user-friendly to that regard. But it's all because of this else at the very bottom of, and it looks like I just deleted it by accident. So here it is. on line 73 and 74. There it is, the else. The next thing I want to highlight in this demo program is menu option 3, finding an item in a list. It's called, well, I don't want to say what it's called. Let's look at it. When the person inputs a name, and that name gets stored in the variable value, in this line 65, I'm calling a function named isFound. And I have two things in its parentheses, names and value. Names is the list of names, Chris, Dan, Edgar, and Bonnie. Value is the word that was just typed in by the customer, perhaps Chris or the word Albert. With those two parameters passed to the function isFound, let's go look at the function isFound. It's up here typed out as a DEF, defined function, or right here where my mouse is. So list is really names, and value is a word such as Chris. When this function executes at this moment of time, when line 65 executes, I'm using an if-else statement, as you see, with the word in that checks to see if the word, say, Albert, is in the list known as names. Just trust me that this true or false works and always tells you whether the name that was typed in is there or not. Do make sure that when you test this program, you're typing lowercase letters and that you don't capitalize the B in Bonnie or the E in Edgar, because it would not find it currently the way it's typed. So that's your introduction to the function called isFound. It returns a true or false. It returns a true or false, which then comes back here and plugs in this if statement as either true or false. If it's true, it prints that whatever name was typed in was found. If it's false, that gets returned from the isFound function. Then the else clause executes, and whatever word, such as Albert, ends up concatenating and printing the message Albert was not found. This is called, well, it's called a search, and it's all part of menu option 3 here in the menu. Lastly, I want to show you some things that should be on your to-do list. Before you get too far, please change the names that I gave you. In fact, feel free to add more names with a comma here. And you don't have to keep it to like different letters of the alphabet. You could put in the name R2D2 or lowercase R2D2. You could put in the name, don't make a name like that starts with a hyphen or a $sign, but you can put any interesting names you want in there, even ones that include spaces. Another upgrade, change the usernames. Oh, by the way, these two lists are considered to be parallel lists. The username here matches the name here, and so on. That's why I kind of spaced them out so they're vertically aligned. I didn't have to do that, but I did it for style. Make sure that when you have parallel lists, that they have the same length, because they match up. You would not want an extra name that doesn't have a username. That's all I have to say about the parallel lists. Another to-do is to somehow figure out how to upgrade this program so that the square brackets don't print out. I'm going to wing it and try to do that right now on the fly. If you're watching the video, you get a free bonus, but I'm going to then delete it so it's not saved in the video, in the version. So here's a bonus. If you add a loop here in line 23, and you do for I in range len names, then, like we've learned on previous worksheets, you do print you print names, square brackets I, then say you put a couple spaces in between, then you do a plus usernames I. This should print with a comma there. No, without a comma, I'm sorry. Watch when I run the program now and print the names. Not only does it print the names here in the original order, it's going to print the names along with the usernames. See that? Nice. No square brackets, no commas, and no single quotes. The only downside that I see is because the word Dan is shorter than Chris, this juts over to the left, and you can try to figure out that yourself. This is more help than I planned to give you anyway. Now I'm going to delete it soon. You know what? I can't hold back. I'm going to show you how to tab them over using \T, perhaps 2 \T's. Let's see if that works better. Now when I run the program and I do menu option 1, oh, look at that, that's perfect. Oh my gosh, 30 minutes into this video, it prints out really nicely the matching usernames and passwords for the network security chief might want that printout or something. And that involved using what's called \T, 2 tabs. Basically, each of these is a tab, and that's how you do it in Python. But because of the way I works, from 0 up to 5, because Fran is in position 5, it just plain and simple works like we saw in previous worksheets. I'm going to now edit, undo, and remove this from the current spot until I publish this as a video. You can watch this if you watch the whole video. There it is, the way it was originally. The last thing in this long video is going to be to show you how to upgrade the menu with what's called ASCII art. Quiet in the room, please, period 7-8. That's programming really hard, I'm proud of you, but still keep it down because people that watch this video 5 years from now want to be able to hear. Here's another upgrade. Here's another to-do. Make the menu look better. So let's add some ASCII art. Let's put the store logo or something up here as a bunch of print commands. Let's jazz it up a little bit like an emoji or an emoticon or whatever they call them. Or maybe like your Instagram pictures. Maybe you add dog ears or something to your menu. So here's like a dog ear. I'm just making this up. It might not look good, but here are dog ears on my menu. And let's put a mouth or one of those funny noses that you see or I used to see with my friends on Instagram. Let's make the nose like 2 @ Totally weird, but probably gets people's attention. And now let's add a mouth to this menu. So here's a mouth. Somebody going, oh, exclamation. Oh, capital O. And so there's the nose. There, the eyeballs are the word menu. No, that's the eyebrow. Yeah, that's it. Those are both eyeballs. And now I have 2 eyeballs. I have a nose. That's going to be 2 hyphens. And an exclamation symbol with their mouth, which is skewed to the left. Ears, eyebrows, eyeballs, nose, and mouth explain with no ears. I don't want ears. Yeah, what the heck? Let's put an ear in there. Ears for dollars, asterisks. No, I already have asterisks. There's a right ear, and there's a left ear. So I want you to upgrade your menu so it looks interesting for full credit, perhaps in this assignment. I will keep that in the video, but I'm going to take it out of the version that I put online. Have a great day and see me after school if you have any questions.